Hello everyone. So this is the self-watering container video I was telling you about. So this is the 10-liter jug that I use, that we get around here. It's half a gallon, 10 liters. And I'm gonna decide where I'm gonna make the cut. So because of the limited width of the pot, I'll go as high as it can go. So up there is fine. Then I get the knife and make a small hole where I'm going to put in the scissors to make the cut. Then I grab the scissors and cut. And sped up parts of the video to uh, not keep you guys waiting forever while I build this thing. So here we go. Just cut around the edges and take the top part off as high up as you can go. See, that's all that was left of the top section there. And the top has like rough edges, as I'm showing you here. So I'm going to be trimming off the rough edge and making it smooth so that it doesn't injure any plant parts or fingers. Now the bottom part of the pot is complete. I'm gonna cut another bottle just like this one to make the outer shell, the covering of the pot, because the pot is in 2 layers, because otherwise it would be too flimsy and it would flex all over the place with weight and water and soil in it, because the plastic is too thin. So I get another bottle just like that one, and I cut it just like the one before. This one was cut from before, so it saved me some time. And I take that and I cut it down the middle. Of one of the sides, just like that. All the way down, as far as you can go, up to the very bottom has very thick plastic, so you can't cut into that, and you don't need that part anyway. Then you go as low as possible, just below the bottom part of the pot. I'll show you where. And you cut around. You're making like sort of a skirt, an outer casing for the other pot with this. That's the bottom part. Save it for the bottom of the self-watering part of the container. You'll see what I mean later. Now you have this, the external part. You'll use it as like sort of reinforcing skin for this one. I'll show you what I mean in a second. Just take that and it'll fit snugly and perfectly around the other one, as long as they're both the same brand of container and they have the same moldings and everything, so that they fit together. It fits around it like a glove. So now I get some tape and I make it permanent by holding them together as tightly as possible. After that, they won't move anymore, and it'll be like one solid piece. Again, I sped all this up for you. Yep, now it felt solid. I'm satisfied. Now there's the top part where it's still a bit, they're a bit separated from each other. I'll take some tape and seal them together, over and under. And don't go down too far with the tape so it doesn't reach the soil and water and all that stuff. Now for the bottom, I'm going to be making the holes for the drainage. Even though it's a self-watering container, the roots sometimes like to poke down into the water through the reservoir chamber, so I make little holes for them anyway, and just in case, so that no excess water stays behind in these pockets and causes any root rot. So the easiest way I found is with this, using a flame from a lighter, holding it carefully against the plastic, and the plastic just melts and starts parting by itself, making a hole. So I sped the part up for you. Cooled down the lighter there, it was getting too hot, and then continued. There you have it. All the holes are done, I think. Yep. And now there are two holes that we're gonna make bigger than the others. There's the hole that's going to be for the tube that you're going to use to put the water into the self-watering container. It's gonna go through there, down through the soil and out through that hole. And then on the opposite side, that's where I like to put it, is I extend the hole a little bit so that it becomes more like a slot. And then I put in the sponge or whatever you're going to use as your wick for the water to the soil from the reservoir below to the soil. In my case, I use a sponge. I put it at the bottom of the container and I push a section of it through down into the reservoir where the water is, so that the sponge is always wicking the water up into where it is in the soil and keeps the soil moist that way by wick action. It's a passive system. So now here I am making the cut for the bottom section, for the reservoir section. And then same thing again, I'm going to smooth out the edges and then cut another section to envelope that, just like I did with the top part. This will be the bottom reservoir part. So this is the second bottle. That's going to be the casing. Make sure we're cutting at the same height. So I just use the other one to measure. And then start make a hole for the scissors. This is my first YouTube, this is my first video with voiceover, and I'm winging it as I go. I think I'm doing okay. Alright, so that's done. And then we'll have to cut the bottom part off after we smooth out the top part. I was pushing in a dent there. It had dented in, I pushed the dent out, back out. So now I find the section in the middle there and I cut through. And I cut along the sides again. You want this to wrap around that one, so you want to go as far down as you can so that it wraps around it nicely all the way down, as far as you can go. Now this is the bottom sections I'm going to put in the bottom of that reservoir again. You can put as many as you want. I just put one in just to Give it 2 layers, just like the rest of the container has 2 layers of plastic. And it's just so that the bottom of the reservoir has 2 layers as well, so it's just as sturdy. And that's it. Then you tighten that around and you tape it up. And that's the strengthening thing I was talking about just now. And it'll fit together snugly if they're the same brand. And that's that. It feels more solid after you do that, so that's why I did that. It's like, it feels sturdy. That'll hold water and it'll hold that heavy container on top of it, because that container behind is going to be going on top of this one and into it, so this has to be strong. Finishing the strengthening now with the tape. And trying to get that edge to go over to the other side onto the other lip of the plastic, so that they join together using only one tape instead of having to put on a second tape. But I'm gonna do it anyway because that one was too short. It didn't quite do the job. This one will go across from that side onto that tape. Then everything will be nicely sealed together. I try to go into the ridges and get the tape in there first so that there are no gaps. That's it, there's your reservoir. I'm just going to tape up the lip because it's loose. Put a piece of section across and just down and over, equally on both sides. And that's it. Now that will almost fit in that, but not quite. You have to make some cuts in the corners so that they fit together. And these 4 corners is where I'm going to be making those cuts. It's just they're just one section long. You see what I mean now? Just like that. Stop. And then repeat on all sides. So now when you go to push that one in, it'll fit up to a point, but then it'll get snug and won't be able to go in anymore. It'll be like snug and a very tight fit. Just push down, keep pushing, turn it around and make sure the angles are straight. And there you have it. It's all together, and you can put in your I would take it back out and put in the tube and the sponge properly, and then I put in finally before I tape it up.